Good afternoon, everyone. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to be doing a little bit of a special demonstration here today, different than we've been running the past few days, where we've been typically running one of the Sarcos Guardian Exo full-body, full-powered exoskeletons. Today we're going to, during this demonstration, we're going to have Jim Miller as one of our operators. We're going to have Fletcher Garrison as our other operator, and they're both going to be out here. So we just ask that you see this gray line here to just stay behind that line, and you'll get a chance to see what nobody here at CES has had a chance to see yet, which is two Exos operating at the same time. We're asked many times, why are we here with Delta Airlines? Delta has been a tremendous partner here to us at Sarcos Robotics. They are exploring and will be doing alpha testing with us here in the first quarter. And they're looking at cargo handling, baggage handling, aircraft maintenance. They call it Delta Tech Ops, aircraft engine maintenance, also for their ground services equipment. So we're thrilled to be here with Delta. Delta is very focused on innovation, especially as it's related to the safety of their employees. The Guardian Exo is a full-body, full-powered exoskeleton. Exoskeleton is a term similar to aircraft, many different types of aircraft. There are many different types of exoskeletons. So you may have heard of passive exoskeletons. You may have heard of medical rehabilitation exoskeletons. This is the world's first and only, and so is that one over there, I guess, full-body, full-powered exoskeleton that is designed for industrial use so that the operator can do superhuman tasks like lift 200 pounds. It is lithium-ion battery powered. If you've seen videos of full-body powered exoskeletons before, those are likely from Sarcos as well. We had done a hydraulic version before. We have three key innovations that have gone into the last few years in making this possible. One is our control system. We have something which we call get out of the way control. What this does is this allows an operator to move the way they normally would move. So they're not thinking about how to operate the robot. They're actually just moving naturally. So Jim is standing in the feet of the Guardian Exo. He's got his own personal pelvis harness and his own personal pelvis harness. The machine monitors that, and then he grabs the handles on the robot. He moves the way that he would normally move, and in doing that movement, the robot will follow him. It gets out of his way constantly. Second key innovation that we've developed over the years we've been around more than 30 years in business. We started off as a prosthetics company, we've become a robotics company, we've done lots of research, development, and we've been doing something called biomimicry. We design these robots like biological entities, in this case a human. So it moves very much like a human, and that's another key innovation that we have. The last one is really around power. I mentioned before, you may have seen some videos going back as early as 2004 of full-body powered exoskeletons. Those exoskeletons were hydraulically powered. Our first exoskeleton, full-body released, used 6,800 watts. Our second full-body exoskeleton used 3,000 watts. That was in 2010. The machine you see here uses less than 500 watts. To put that in perspective, many of these LED televisions that you see that you would put in your house, not the giant walls and things, use about 500 watts. So this is using less power than those LED televisions to allow someone to be able to lift up to 200 pounds. Jim will do an introduction of himself here and talk a little bit about the tasks that we're going to do. We're going to do two tasks in this demonstration. This over here is a engine maintenance task. These are fan blades. We will go through the process of removing the fan blades using the exoskeleton. This here to the left, Jim will talk about a little bit more later. That's a torque wrench, usually a two-person lift to do this operation. In addition to that, Fletcher, our second operator, will wave to the crowd there at Fletcher. Unfortunately, we only have two mics, one on Jim and one on Fletcher. So I just have Fletcher say hello real quick.
Hi, everybody.
He's not so shy. Fletcher will then demonstrate for us lifting. This is the CRJ tire. This is used on a regional jet. It weighs 130 pounds. So he's going to run the demonstration and show you lifting that as well. And then for the grand finale, they're both going to demonstrate to you some of the mobility and the dexterity that exists inside these exoskeletons. So Jim is just going through the final steps of the startup process. If you notice and you watch closely, you'll notice that the exoskeleton is starting to really stand up around Jim. The exoskeleton weighs 250 pounds. It supports its own weight. And so when it's fully up and operational and Jim's ready to go, he'll come off the exopod. The robot will be supporting its own weight. You can see he's now walking off the exopod. And he will now make his way over near the engine. Now, some people ask about, how fast we walk. This is a stage floor, so it's real springy, so we're being very careful here for your protection and ours. So Jim, talk to us about the Guardian Exo and what it feels like to be in there.
All right, so first a little bit about myself, so kind of understand who's inside this exoskeleton. So my name is Jim Miller. I joined the company, Sarcos, on the 1st of August of this year after retiring from the U.S. Army as a colonel in Special Forces after 29 years of service. Last 3 years of my time in the military was spent at Special Operations Command, where I was the director of an R&D project to develop a combat operator suit for our operators. So think of adding more armor, think of adding fused visual augmentation systems. It was a kind of a real moonshot. It was about changing culture, influencing technology. Part of that was a drive task of bearing more of the load by increasing the armor for survivability in an exoskeleton, a load-bearing exoskeleton. A lot of different kinds of exoskeletons out there. There are kinds that just help your knees or your elbows, your arms, help your joints work better. There are medical ones that do rehabilitation, safety, get mobility back. Some that allow you to increase your human performance or endurance. This is a load-bearing exoskeleton, which means it supports not only its own weight, but the weight of whatever you pick up. So the burden is not on the operator. The operator doesn't need to be strong. The robot does everything for you. The sensors throughout the robot tell it where it is and tell it where the human is, so it can constantly try to get out of the way. And you will see, as both Fletcher and I demonstrate some of the agilities, how we can just move very freely, very comfortably, not just up and down 90 degrees. We can turn at the hips. We can bend over at the hips, possibly to pick things up if need be. We can take the load of, say for example, this torque multiplier that's about 60 pounds. We can lift it, hook it up, clutch out, which most of us just did, and actually the robot likes that better because it uses less power and it just locks its actuators. Think of an exoskeleton, think of a human almost. You got bones on the outside that provide structure. You have muscles that are actuators, either pneumatic, electric, or hydraulic. These are electric motors. You have a wiring harness that makes everything talk. And then at the end of your nerves, you have sensors. So you're effectively putting a robot on the outside of the human so it can mimic transparently with movement what the human wants to do and it is doing. We're going to do a quick task. When you think about Delta, think about the backbone of their success. That's the population, their workforce that works hard every day. And a lot of that piece, a lot of that workforce is down at the ground level, below the wing. They do a lot of real hard work. A lot of it involves physically demanding activities. Over here to my right, we have a notional mock-up of a jet engine. There's a torque multiplier on the ground. That's a 60-pound tool. Normally, 60 pounds by design, that's a two-person lift. So you have to lift it up, put it on a shaft, loosen up a nut that's keeping those fan blades on, and then take the nut off. The goal or the objective of this task, this maintenance task, is to remove the fan blades, put them on a rack, So an engineer could come by, pull the fan blade, do the diagnostics, make sure it still has its integrity, and then we can put it back on. This is routine maintenance. Happens all the time. If I alone decide to pick that 60-pound torque multiplier up every day, and I do it for a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 10 years, it's probably going to hurt my back. That's why it's a 2-man lift. But with this, the Guardian XL will do all the work for the person. So if a person comes in healthy and fresh from day one, can start throwing around, moving 60-pound weights comfortably and safely, and can do it for 10 or 20 years without harm or injury. So this is about risk reduction, injury reduction. This isn't about speed. It's about slow is smooth, smooth is appropriate and efficient, effective. Think of it, at the end of the day, we're putting a human inside a robot. We're taking the human intelligence, instinct, and judgment. We're coupling that, combining it with the robot's strength, endurance, and precision. And what you get is a safe work environment that's efficient and effective and productive. All right? So, I'm going to move over. Fletcher's going to hang out for a little bit. Maybe he'll do a little dance to keep you amused. I'm going to turn to the right. I'm going to lift that torque multiplier. I'm going to do it with one arm. And I'm going to mount it on the shaft. And I'm going to notionally remove the nut. So, torque multiplier up in the air, in place. It was quick. It was easy. Now what's really neat is after I did the heavy task, the robot did all the work, I'm going to lock my arms out. Now I have workspace for a more dexterous task, one that doesn't require the strength and position of the robot. I'm just going to grab the ratchet, I'm going to simulate loosening the nut that is notionally holding on the fan blades. I got that loose. Now I'm going to remove the torque multiplier again. I'm going to engage the clutch for the arms, bring it back in place. Remove the torque multiplier, one arm, step over, carefully put it down, the heavy part's done. Lock my arms again, I've removed the nut, now I'm going to remove the fan blades. Just step over to my right. Put in the holder, and I'll continue that for as long as necessary to either replace or remove completely all the fan blades that are in this engine so they can do the diagnostics on them to maintain that regular maintenance cycle, however often it is. And that's the task. Key things to take away there is the robot did all the work for me. I didn't need to be strong. The robot lifted it, put it in place. I could lock out my time. I could use my hands for a more dexterous task. One thing I didn't know before that is notable for everyone to see, what we have up in the front, these are called end effectors. These are basically tools. This is what I would call is just a multi-use utility tool, end effector. It can serve a number of purposes. If you saw closely when I picked it up, I just put a single bar underneath there, I hooked it. It's actually got a handle. The end effectors to my rear that kind of look like fingers might have been a better tool because it probably would have provided a more stable base for me to pick it up and put it in. So it's all about the end effector, it's all about the tool, and I think we'll get that kind of feedback on what tools are necessary for the desired task at hand to make it most safe, most efficient. And that'll come from the workforce.
So thank you, Jim. So now we're going to let Jim rest for a moment. I'm going to talk for Fletcher since we don't have a mic for him. I will say that Fletcher has now become an expert at management, watching Jim do his work there. But Fletcher is now, we talked a little about end effectors. Notice we're both using the multi-purpose tool. Over here we do have, you can see what look like two robot hands. Those are end effectors that can be swapped in. For these tasks, we found that these multi-purpose tools have been the best. Fletcher will walk over and grab and show you these end effectors. So it has two fingers. We're able to position those to do different tasks. These are the end effectors that we would use, let's say, if we were lifting some of the luggage, which is one of our normal demos. So now he has a tool, he can get in and get a different base on whatever it is that he's lifting. He'll shift back now, where he's gonna now show us and demonstrate part of the lifting capability of this robot. So this tire here weighs 130 pounds. Normally this is a multi-person lift. To be able to lift this back up, that if we've been doing maintenance onto the aircraft. So Fletcher, watch quickly. He'll get in there, he'll get in with those end effectors, he'll lift this up quickly and place it onto the shaft. You see a 130-pound lift, he's not breaking the sweat. He's able to get it on there. He's able to dexterously move back. Now, as Jim demonstrated over here, if he needed to, he could lock out. He could use his own hands to help place a nut on the wheel, help better position or align the wheel as it's on there. So he has all of those capabilities while he's doing that. So that's the tire lift. Now what we're going to have both of them do for you is actually demonstrate a little bit of the mobility. We're going to let them get lined up here, get your cameras going. Fletcher was up on the stage earlier. We won't do all of his dance moves that he did in the keynote, but together they're going to walk through, and thankfully I'm not going to sing. We'll just have to match your own music. Show us some of the mobility that you got there in that robot.
All right, so first we'll probably start with a little bit of the shake of the old rump area. Got to make sure you can see how much we can move around comfortably. Might involve our arms at some point. Coming straight up, coming out, shifting to a side, shifting to a side, stepping up, stepping up. He's going to kick his legs out because he likes to. And we're just going to get our groove on here just a little bit. But this is comfortable.
So do you want to see him shake the tail feathers?
And then the final turn. Oh, goodness. All right, just to demonstrate the nice black pads that we got back there to keep us safe.
So these are their 5-mile-an-hour bumpers. So if the robots were to go down, they were able to sit down comfortably on those and get out of the robot if they had to. All right, so that's our demonstration. Can we get a round of applause for our two operators and the silliness that we're doing? Great, thank you. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to go through a multi-docking exercise here. Fletcher's going to bring this tire back down so that our colleagues don't have to lift a 130-pound tire. We're going to dock Fletch and then we'll dock Jim. So as Fletcher is just coming back, he's, as you see him walk in, this is what we call the exopod. This is the docking station. This is where we're able to safely dock the robot. It also allows us to charge the batteries. It's a data center, an analysis center for the robot as well. It also serves as a shipping platform. So we have a standard pallet size down below. We can box it up and ship these out to customers. So if you look around, you'll see all of us wearing the Delta Keep Climbing t-shirts. If you have any questions about the Guardian XO, what we're doing together with Delta, please reach out to one of us. We're happy to talk with you, entertain questions. Very fortunate and happy to have you all here today with us.
Folks, a lot of questions have been asked about what happens if the power turns off or if the robot does something that it doesn't like, considers an unsafe action. What I'm going to demonstrate for you here real quick, and you can just look at it, is the active or the passive braking in the actuation in the muscles themselves. So when I remove power, I'm going to pull an emergency stop. You'll see these don't just fall to the ground like hammers. They don't come crashing into my legs. And I'll even show you that I can hold one up if I would like to. So you remove the power, it just slowly goes to the ground. And if I want to keep it up to protect myself for whatever reason, I can. But let it go. Envision the whole robot. Either I'm standing, because I don't know if he grabbed me yet, but I can stand and hold myself up erect, or it's always going to tend to want to go straight down or backwards. And that's, you just kind of hold on if you need to, if you have to go down and go backwards, but it'll do it in a very slow and controlled manner.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone. We do these demonstrations every 30 minutes. If you want to get a chance to see what it's like to be in the exoskeleton, over to your left, that is the right arm of the Guardian XO. You can see what it's like to have superhuman strength. We have Ellen over here, emceeing. She'll walk you through how to see what it's like. You'll get a chance to feel what it feels like to lift 50 pounds unassisted. And then the Guardian XO will make that feel like a small bottle of water. So please, right over here. Thank you.